Welcome to My Business Matters, the Michigan Chamber podcast.
Welcome and thanks for listening. I'm Jim Holcomb, President and CEO of the Michigan Chamber of Commerce. And today we're going to be talking about one of the most important and probably one of the most discussed pieces of infrastructure in our state, Line 5 and the proposed Great Lakes Tunnel. Today I'm joined by two professionals who are in the know and have been on the front lines of this issue. They'll help us work through all the latest information and give us a look at what may be next. We have Anna Mooney, she's the Government Affairs Manager for Enbridge Energy, and Katie Berglind of the Michigan Labor's District Council for Labor's International Union of North America, or as many in town call it, LIUNA. Ladies, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We have a lot to discuss, so why don't we just dive right in. You know, Line 5, it's not a new topic here in Michigan, but I'm concerned there's still a lot of misinformation out there. It's an emotional topic for many, and a lot of misinformation gets spread around. Anna, can you kind of describe what is Line 5 and what does it do?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, I think it's important to note that Line 5 is one of 6 pipelines that Enbridge owns and operates in the state of Michigan. So certainly it gets the most press coverage these days, particularly for its location, which it runs through the Straits of Mackinac there between the two peninsulas of our state. But it's really an integral energy artery for not only the state, the region, but really our international economy as well. So Line 5, as I said, originates in Superior, Wisconsin, but travels along through the UP, down through the Straits, down through the northern lower, and then terminates there in Sarnia, Ontario. But really helping to bring the energy that not only do we need to heat our homes, turn our lights on at home, fill up our cars, at the gas station, but really also the reliable and affordable energy that our business community and the manufacturers in our state really rely on.
Yeah, and how long has Michigan been benefiting from Line 5?
So 70 years. Line 5 was built back in 1953. And the purpose of Line 5 at the time when it was constructed was really to bring the barges off of the lakes that were carrying that were carrying petroleum products, liquid, natural gas, those products. And so it was really thought of as a safer alternative to transport those products through the Great Lakes.
And Katie, why does Line 5 matter to an organization like the laborers?
Yeah, that's a good question. Line 5 is really vital, I think, to all Michiganders. Not everyone thinks of it that way, but especially laborers are the ones that are working day in, day out on maintaining the pipeline and ensuring that all of Michigan gets safe and reliable energy to their homes and businesses. So, our members do over 2 million hours of work pipelining and underground every year just in Michigan. So Line 5 is a big part of that, and it sustains a lot of jobs for union workers, and that they provide good wages with benefits and great opportunities for all of us in Michigan.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. It's great to have those good paying jobs here in Michigan. But what I'm hearing you saying as well is, in addition to just Enbridge and their to Line 5, it's the laborers who are really helping too to make sure they're doing what we need to do to make sure that the pipelines are operational and transporting the product.
Absolutely, and in a safe way. Our union workers are incredibly skilled and trained and getting retrained all the time at our 4 training facilities. So it's something they can take great pride in, working on Line 5 and knowing that they're going to ensure safe and reliable energy gets to Michigan homes and businesses and continue to do so.
And I would just add, the over 100 employees that Enbridge has here in Michigan, like Katie said, there's really just a sense of pride that they work every day to ensure the line is safe. It continues to deliver energy that not only, again, they need, their neighbors need. They live and work in those communities. And so there's really a lot of pride for our employees and the work that they do every day. So very similar to Katie and her members.
No, that's great. And Anna, we talked about the notion of Line 5, and I worry that some people think it's just an oil and gas pipeline, and both of you have made reference to some of the benefits. In reality, this really just has a huge impact on our daily lives, and I'm not sure people truly understand that. Can you share just a little bit more about what that impact is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to the line, transporting products that originate in Superior, it also has an injection point in Lewiston. So, our Michigan, our homegrown oil and gas, those producers inject their product into line to transport as well. So, not only is there that immediate need that's fulfilled, but we also serve approximately 10 refineries within the region. So those refineries are refining products, again, not just for the, I think most people think of just the gas when you go to the gas station to fill up your car, but it's, your phone, right, that's made of plastics. The products that are transported in Line 5 are huge in the chemistry industry and go into those products that we use every day, not only to get to our jobs, but, to make our jobs more comfortable and reliable.
Yeah, so it's just not, what I'm hearing you say is just not the product moving through that one. It's also the interconnection of all the pipelines that are working together to make sure that everything can be moved, and like you said, safely, environmentally friendly, and making sure we get use of the product, but it's done in the proper way. Now, Line 5, it does have, it has a tremendous safety record. I was reading up on that before, and many experts agree that it's going to continue to be safe as it is. However, some environmentalists still raise concerns, and how was it determined the Great Lakes Tunnel was the best solution for these concerns? Yeah,
and I'll maybe even start where you started there, is that we know these products are going to be needed well into the future. Enbridge has played a huge part into the energy enhancements process. We've invested in the renewable space for many years and will continue to do so, but it's also important that we are able to continue to invest in our existing infrastructure, and certainly Line 5 is a major component of our existing infrastructure. So back in the previous administration in 2018, actually, prior to that, there were studies that were done to talk about alternatives to Line 5, and what came out of a lot of that good work with Michigan Tech University and a lot of the world-renowned experts on this subject was the idea of building a tunnel. So Enbridge is committed now with the state of Michigan to building what we call the Great Lakes Tunnel. So it would be approximately 100 feet well below the lake bed in the Straits, and then we'd be pulling a brand new Line 5 through that tunnel. So I think the exciting part of that too is that tunnel is not just for us, it's not just for Enbridge. We certainly are committed to building it. We're committed to paying for that as well, but it will be owned at the end of the day by the state of Michigan, and it's really thought of as a utility corridor. So I think there are potential utility options that could be in there that we may not even know about today. So certainly fiber optics is one that's very interested already, and I think everyone can agree that the need for connectivity, reliability of internet, and our fiber is so important, especially in rural areas of our state. So not only did we enter in those agreements with the state, but we also had the legislation that was passed to put some safeguards in place for how the building and construction of the tunnel would take place over the next couple of years. Yeah,
you raised a point there that I'm not sure everybody understands either. There's a taxpayer protection that Enbridge is going to pay for this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot different than I think today where the state is falling all over themselves to bring companies here and incentives, and that's all great and needed. It's certainly to be competitive, but this is a privately funded project. Again, over $500 million investment by Enbridge, and really because we believe in the protection of the Great Lakes. So not only do we need to ensure the long-term delivery of the energy and the products in the pipeline, but really we understand, we've heard loudly, and we understand and agree with the importance for protecting the Great Lakes. Such a jewel of the state. Obviously, lots of drinking water that comes there for the region. So that's really why we have such a commitment to moving forward with the tunnel project.
Both of you have made comment about the good paying jobs and the economic benefit. Katie, can you talk a little bit about, because your members are doing a great job currently with the projects that we have, what would building the Great Lakes Tunnel mean to job growth here in Michigan for your members and for others?
Yeah, LIUNA is incredibly supportive of building the tunnel. We continue to really continue training at our top-notch facilities in pipeline safety and building construction and maintenance of pipelines. We take an all of the above approach to energy, so everything from nuclear, solar, wind. We really invest in that because we see this as a critical infrastructure component in Michigan that does deliver huge economic benefits. So building the tunnel would be a huge opportunity for our members to get out and be able to build really this incredible project that they could be proud of for years to come. And the economic benefits that would come from it, our members and union workers that make great wages, they're able to protect the Great Lakes by building this. and then also see a lot of growth and jobs and opportunities through that. So it's something we're incredibly supportive of and really excited to get to work on.
You raised a good point there. I think a lot of people look at this, and it's a great way to protect the Great Lakes. We're all very prideful of the Great Lakes here in Michigan. Michiganders love their natural resources. They want to protect them. And how far below the water would this be?
Yeah, so it'd be approximately at least 100 feet below the lake bed. So the way that it's been designed, and I say this with, we have a world-renowned team that's working to ensure that the design and engineering for this tunnel has the least environmental impact possible. So it'd be at least 100 feet below the lake bed. We'd be starting at the south end of the straits. So there'd be a portal, and then we have to use a tunnel boring machine. So it's this state-of-the-art, one-time use machine that's built mainly over in Europe and brought over here, and so that'll be exciting. But that'll essentially bore, we call boring through the bedrock there in the straits, then come out as close as possible on the northern end of the straits there in St. Ignace to tie into our existing pipeline. So it's really exciting. I think what Katie said too about just this being, again, a point of pride for people that are working on it. I mean, you look at the Mackinac Bridge and when that was built, and this is, well underground and not as visual or visible as maybe the bridge, but really will be the largest economic or infrastructure project in northern Michigan since the building of the Mackinac Bridge. So it's really exciting. It's exciting to be a part of. I think Katie touched on it too, but we've seen that over 70% when you talk to Michiganders about the tunnel or alternatives, over 70% of Michiganders support the idea of building a tunnel in the straits to house that Line 5, it's really exciting. It's brought together, again, people like Katie and LIUNA and many folks from the labor community, but also the business community, also the conservation community. So I think there's a groundswell of support, overwhelming support for this being the right thing to do for Michigan and for our energy delivery. I
think that's one of the frustrating things for our members, at least of the Michigan Chamber, because it is a great thing. It's a coalition of sometimes non-traditional allies who are coming together saying, this is what's best for Michigan, this is how we protect the Great Lakes, this is how we make sure we have safe, reliable, affordable energy, how we have good paying jobs, and how we can really transition Michigan forward in some of our energy infrastructure. The frustration is all these great attributes, what's the delay?
Yeah.
Why can't we get this done?
That's a great question as well. So, through our permitting process, like I said, we really began after that agreements were reached in 2018. We did submit, again, because of the way that we're building the tunnel, there will be minimal impact to the environment. However, there is some impact to less than a quarter of an acre of wetland. So because of that, we did apply for our environmental permits that are needed. So we need a state level permit through EGLE, which we did receive within 8 months. So we applied for those in spring of 2020. We're looking at just over 3 years of having that permit application now before the U.S. Army Corps. So the U.S. Army Corps is our federal needed environmental permit to allow us to get shovels in the ground and begin there. So we're working as quickly as possible. We're doing everything we can on our end to be efficient when it comes to information requests, surveys that are needed. Really right now, the decision, the longer tentpole of the permitting is continued to be the Army Corps. So I think any of your members would also agree that, when you're trying to build any type of large infrastructure, reliability of certainty of permitting is so important. And when you don't have really a firm date for when that permit can be received and certainty of permit, I mentioned that tunnel boring machine. That's a significant, I'd say our next significant business milestone or purchase. And so we really need certainty of that Army Corps permit to move forward.
Yeah. Katie, how about you? I mean, you're a knowledgeable person about everything going on here in Lansing and this process. What's your outlook for when maybe we can get this project started in earnest and really start moving Michigan's infrastructure forward?
Yeah, I would like to reiterate what you were saying about this being an opportunity for us because we're seeing Dems and Republicans come together on an issue where they can, and then business and labor. So it is kind of a unique opportunity for us to work together to push this thing forward. So with LIUNA, we're just doing all we can. We're part of a coalition called Great Lakes Michigan Jobs with the Chamber and with other labor trade organizations. And we're really just doing whatever we can to help move this along and show our support and voice our support and try to get out there as much as we can. So whatever we can do to help to move this along and continue training and being ready for when we can get boots on the ground.
Yeah, I know my members at the Michigan Chamber are very appreciative of the work we're doing with LIUNA on this. It is important. 70%, Anna, you mentioned, of citizens support this. I can't think of any issue where 70% of Michiganders really agree on moving something forward, especially something as important as this. Now, we're covering a lot of ground. It's certainly a complex issue. We've seen it. It's been in the legislative process. It's been with locals. It's been in different legal formats. What haven't we talked about that the public really should know about the Great Lakes Tunnel?
Yeah, so I would add too. I think I touched on the international, impact, or our impact with our neighbors to the north or to the east, however you look at it. There in Canada, but it's really it's an integral part of their energy delivery too. So I mentioned those refineries that exist. Many of those exist in Canada as well. There's the government of Canada has been vocal in this matter as well. So in ensuring the ongoing operations of Line 5. I think as we also talk about Michigan, being this hub for new energy technology and we talk about battery plants or manufacturing and kind of that clean manufacturing that's coming here, they're all going to need and have to have reliable energy and affordable. And again, we say cleaner energy. So we really believe that Enbridge is in a position to be that choice of delivery for those companies and continue to be, the affordable delivery of energy that so many Michiganders rely on.
Katie, do you have any final thoughts, things that people really should know? How can we make sure that we do this tremendous project and move Michigan forward?
Yeah, I think just really highlighting, I know that a lot of us probably listening to this, involved in this, we think about infrastructure daily, but that's not always the case for many people. It's just out of sight, out of mind. So really honing in and trying to educate people on the value and the influence that Line 5 and building a tunnel could have in this state. That's really what LIUNA is gauged in on and excited to move forward with. So we're doing everything we can, and we just really, really appreciate all the coalition's work and work to get this moving forward.
Absolutely. The coalition is important. I think, again, it just speaks to how important this is. And that when people try to work together, we know we're going to be stronger together. So let's just put political division aside and get it done.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all the time we have today. A big thank you to Anna and Katie for sharing their insight, and to all of you for listening. Please make sure to tune in to our next episode and subscribe and like our podcast for easy notifications. And until then, let's please make sure we're all working together to move Michigan forward.